hour is 6 p.m. I'd like to call to order the meeting today on June 9th. Roll call. Dr. Ball is, we miss her terribly, out and about. Right?
Correct.
Public comment on closed session items. Any public comments? All right, I'd like to adjourn to closed session. Officially welcome to the June 9th board meeting. Roll call, Dr. Ball is absent tonight. Mr. Strode will be joining us in a moment. Will you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready? Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to read a clarification statement that on claim number, I'm going to go very slowly this time, 670685 was approved on the May 5th, 2026 board meeting by closed session action. However, the number was misread during the reporting out. So we are taking care of that. And I'd like to report on actions from closed session. Conference with legal counsel. Claim number 672181. Motion made by Mr. Nava, seconded by Mr. Stroh. Voted to reject, 6 ayes, 1 absent. Conference with legal counsel, claim number 673928. Motion made by Mr. Stroh, seconded by Mr. Nava. The board rejected, 6-0, 1 absent. Okay, just making sure it's not mine. Next, conference with legal counsel. Do I read both numbers, Mr.?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ambrose. Case number 2026-040373 and 202-604-0939. A motion made by Ms. McFarland, seconded by Mr. Stroh. Board approved, 6 with 1 absent, 6 ayes, 1 absent. Conference with legal counsel, case OAH 202-602-1162. Motion made by Ms. McFarland, seconded by Mr. Porter. Board approved, 6-0, 1 absent. Conference with legal counsel, claim 653939. Motion made by Mr. Stroh, seconded by Mr. Nava. The board approved, 6-0, 1 absent. Personnel matters, appointments. Motion was made by Ms. McFarland, seconded by Mr. Nava, for the placement of Christy Arredondo as elementary vice principal, effective 2026-27, a location to be determined by the following vote. 6 ayes, 1 absent. Mr. Nava motion, Mr. Stroh seconded, to approve the placement of Kethra Dooley as elementary vice principal, effective 2026-27, a location to be determined by a vote of 6-0, 1 absent. Congratulations. We look forward to having you with us, or continuing. Next, I have several public hearings. And for the sake of all of our hearing, I will simply open and close them verbally, unless y'all want to hear the gavel 8 to 10 different times. I think we're good. So I will open it with declare the public hearing. Local, is that right? Open. Local control and accountability. Open for any public comments. Any board comments? I declare it closed. I declare the 2026-27 budget adoption open. Any public comments? Any board comments? I declare the public hearing closed. I declare the Lodi Pupil Personnel Association, LPPA reopeners for the 2026-27 school year open. Public comments? Board comments?
Michael, need your help?
Oh,
Sorry.
that's okay. That was a board comment.
I
Not-
didn't want to
That's like perfect timing, Mr. Straw. I declare the public hearing closed. I declare the Lodi Unified School District contract reopeners with LPPA for the 2026-27 year open. Any public comments? Board comments? I declare it closed. I declare the Lodi Unified School District contract reopeners with the Lodi Unified Supervisorial Group, LUSG, for the successor agreement open. Any public comments? Board comments? I declare it closed. Next, I declare the Lodi Unified School District contract reopeners with California School Employees Association, CSEA, for a successor agreement open. Public comments? Board comments? I declare it closed. And I declare the California School Employees Association, CSEA, contract reopeners with Lodi Unified School District for a successor agreement open. Public comments? Board comments? I declare the public hearing is closed. Next, that was a good one. Next, superintendent's report, please.
Yes. President Alexander, members of the board, I just wanted to say a special thank you throughout the district, because I think in the good old days, the idea of summer was things stopped happening. But in Lodi Unified, I've come to find out nothing stops happening. And I just want to first say thank you to all of our school sites for the promotion ceremonies, the middle school promotions, and the high school graduations. It is a big deal for our families and our kids, and I'm thankful for all the hard work that everyone put in to celebrate our amazing students. I also want to say thank you to everyone who's participating in our intercession that is happening during summertime at so many of our schools, as well as ESY, as well as summer school. And I want to say thank you to our maintenance and facility staff, because we have given you a very short summer to do a ton of work, and we are thankful for everything you are doing right now. It's amazing that we live in a day and age where athletics doesn't even take summers off. It feels like that is happening year round now. And so to all of our coaches who are conditioning students, even during the summer, I'm very appreciative of everything our coaches are doing. And to our nutrition services department, who is continuing to feed our students in many different ways and keeping our kids from being hungry, I am thankful for that as well. And I know I'm going to miss some, but in this building right here, the business doesn't stop in Lodi Unified School District. And we know in short order, our budget department, our accounting department has incredible responsibilities to turn everything over into a new school year and close out the books. So I'm thankful for our budget and accounting. And I am also thankful for our technology department that has to put a closure on this year and roll everything over for a brand new year. And by July 16th, we know that we're going to have to start doing data confirmations, which to all our site principals is very important that we do data confirmations. I just want to go on record, since you all happen to be here. But ultimately, it's a big thank you to everyone, because it's humbling to see everything that happens in Lodi Unified. I don't think people have a clue. And yet, what happens here is amazing. So it's just a big thank you. I have nothing further.
Thanks.
Should have said personnel too.
And personnel. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Next, we'll have comments from the public. Do we have any? Oh, we do. A 20-minute period is allocated for the public to address the board on matters not listed on the agenda. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. If there are numerous speaker time limits may be adjusted to share materials with the board. Please provide them to the staff for distribution. Due to restrictions under the California Brown Act, the board cannot engage in discussion regarding public comments. Please remember to state first and last name before starting. Okay. Bill Yates, starting us off.
Superintendent reminded me that this one is timed. Wanted to say a big thank you. Oh, it wasn't really timed. a big thank you from my family to the district because our son graduated from high school. And thank you, Ms. Linderman, for shaking his hand at McNair. And also, my daughter graduated from Stanislaus. She's a McNair graduate, now a college graduate. And so it's been a great month. And also got to attend our newest extensive needs teacher who was a resident in my classroom, who will be at Krista. Got to attend her graduation for TCSJ, and two other extensive needs teachers who graduated from their internship program. I got to attend both graduations, but you guys all know about attending many graduations, so I won't bother you with that. It was a great time, and Isaiah Sowers did a great job speaking on behalf of the TCSJ. It's been a long year and a good year, but I just want to encourage us as we go in to continue to look at our special ed department. I'm getting concerned because one of the easiest ways to save money, save resources, is to just not tell families about what's available to them and what the rights are for them. Meaning things like our SLPs, moving away from direct services to students who have low verbal skills. I'm gonna talk to someone about that soon. Haven't had a chance to have that appointment yet. Also, if you don't know, that we do a lot of additional adult support and extensive needs. That has to be set up by the student. There's lots of reports, lots of different people that come in to prove that this student needs an additional adult support. But as was spoken to you last year by Ms. Fregoso, what happened was it stopped being looked at as the individual student and just the ratios of the class. And it's to get additional adult support, we have to look to the individual student. I don't think it should then move to ratios in the class because it's based on the individual needs of the student. I also wanted to say thank you to Lisa, to our union president, because this is her last meeting as our union president, and grateful for all the work she's done on behalf of teachers and on behalf of students making happier teachers. And also wanted to introduce, he's not here tonight, but he'll be back with us soon, our newest president, Rich Kersey, who is a special ed teacher. And a lot of the union leadership is made up of special ed teachers. That's because we really care about the direction of this district and the direction of for our students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Karen Jackson.
Good evening. My name is Karen Jackson, and I am a 5th and 6th grade teacher at Orchard Elementary. I want to share some highlights of our last school year, give a shout out to my colleagues, and to make a request. Orchard has the pleasure of being the elementary hub for our deaf and hard of hearing, or DHOH, students. I am very thankful to have Terry Orsi, an itinerant DHOH teacher, to help guide me to ensure that my classroom is a place of enriched learning opportunities. He understands deaf culture and is a go-to when I have questions about how to best serve the needs of one of my students. Mike Sutherland is a deaf paraeducator. He is beloved and cool. How many deaf Harley riding grandpas do you know? I go to Mike for questions about the deaf community and for suggestions in working with our deaf students. He is a supportive presence in their lives. Understanding deaf culture is rare in the hearing world and something I continuously work to achieve. It is vitally important to listen to deaf voices. Representation matters, and I give kudos to Lodi Unified for supporting this. Jocelyn Hernandez is a paraeducator extraordinaire. She is skilled in meeting the needs of the students and has a keen eye for helping out when a child is being frustrated or needs extra support during a lesson, and I am thankful to work with her. Sophia Hine and previously Michio are skilled interpreters who understand deaf culture and have a deep commitment to the success of our students. My classroom would not be as rigorous a place of learning if it were not for interpreters of excellence. This brings me to our contracts with interpreters. Many interpreters live a long distance from the schools they serve. We have previously been able to pull from talent in other areas, such as Up Grove and Sacramento. My request is that we continue to hold contracts with all contractors available so that we do not lose our ability to provide meaningful access to curriculum. In saving the best for last, I have to share the success of 2 of my students. One has been in student government for 2 years, providing American Sign Language, or ASL, videos each Friday morning alongside her Aaron peers. She has made the presidential honor roll due to her effort and diligence. The other has also made presidential honor roll, as well as making huge gains in ASL. He has newly found fire inside for science, sports, and cooking. Both are smart, kind, funny, and social. This is the impact of a highly qualified interpreter. Learning has to be accessible to be achieved. And thank you for letting me share some of the highlights of my year and to celebrate those who made it possible.
Thank you, Karen. Sophia Hank, did I say that right?
Hi.
Hi,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Good evening, members of the Board of Lodi Unified. My name is Sophia Hine, and I'm an American Sign Language interpreter. Good night, everybody. I'll wait for the light. Thank you. I'm an American Sign Language interpreter employed currently with Emergis, who contracts under this district. I'm here today, not directly as my role as a paraeducator for Lodi Unified, but to share my experience and cultural competency to emphasize the necessity of skilled, qualified interpreters employed at the schools that you serve. I'd like to provide a metaphor for you all this evening. Imagine, if you will, you are 5 years old. Your life is a silent movie. There are people you know but cannot name that live in a place with you that you also know but cannot describe. You travel places with these people. You experience odd and bizarre rituals at certain times when the weather changes. You eat and drink things that are tasty or not, but you cannot ask for them. Maybe, if you're lucky, the people you live with teach you some hand gestures. Maybe you understand them, maybe you don't. Your communication is limited to pointing, crying, throwing things, and hitting. You are watching your life, and you have no participation in it. One day, when the bright light in the blue above you is hot on your skin, the people you live with take you to a building. It is big and scary, and there are many people smiling at you and moving their mouths at you, which you don't understand. There are smaller people around your size who look at you sideways. You're not sure about them either. There, an adult approaches you and crouches down to eye level. You feel seen for the first time in your life. You discover what school is. You keep going. This adult teaches you that the people you live with are your parents and your siblings. You learn what a house is, and a room, and what toys are. You learn about the doctor, and the library, and Sky Zone. You learn your ABCs, your 1, 2, 3s, the 3 Rs, history, science, sports, what your favorite subject is, and the ones you're not a fan of. You meet other children like you. You make friends. You learn about cultural identity, your deafness, and that there's a community out there who loves you just because of who you are. That is the product of a skilled, qualified interpreter. Through the hands of an interpreter, the child's world explodes, and they go on and succeed in their lives. Over half of my colleagues were non-renewed for the 2026-2027 school year, against the advice of faculty, staff, and other subject matter experts employed directly by Lodi Unified. Please reinstate them. Empower your deaf students to direct the movie of their life. Thank you.
Thank you. Or Thomas, Iturin?
All right, I'm here for 2 gripes and a celebration. Gripe number 1, I know the 7-period day was kind of a big change for everybody. I'll tell you what, it was not reassuring to find out that a lot of my peers are getting 120s in the electives while we're still stuffing kids in my classroom to the max. Had the joy of hearing a teacher on her way out saying that they're going to give her the full 140 this year, and then that way she was going to buy her new truck and trailer to retire on while I'm still living on a boat in the Delta, and my income is only 3/4 of what an average house mortgage would cost. So that's gripe number 1. Gripe number 2, we'll get to in a second. Many of you know I've been working on a 3D print catapult competition for about 7 years now. When these 3D printers first came out, I was asked, what should we buy? And I said, hey, maybe it's a good idea we test some of these, and then we'll figure out what to do. That was ignored, and then we bought the shittiest printers possible, and then I was told that they were gimmicks. But to prove a point, can first place this year come up? Can you introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, my name is Ismael Arguello, and I made a 3D catapult out of a 3D printer that was provided by me in school.
And how far did it go?
It went 92 feet, I believe, if I can remember that right.
So yeah, when you buy quality equipment, things are possible. Here's your Bamboo printer that I have sponsored or gotten for you. Now the other gripe is I got my cousin to donate some money, private funds, for 2 more printers this year. I put that request in January. Didn't hear anything back until they told me they just returned the funds, they couldn't do it. So now I have 2 kids without printers. One mom over here, which I'm hoping you guys can explain why that happened, because you're not gonna hide behind me, okay, for your failure, right? This is literally the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. We have money for tier 3 problem students to buy them pizza. We got money for esports clubs, but 100% donated funds. You guys are just telling me you can't buy a kid a printer. So that's my 2 gripes. You guys figure it out, how you're gonna figure out how to tell her son, and unfortunately the other kid did not show up, but why they couldn't get their printers. Thank you.
Laura Mulcahy.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Laura Mulcahy. I am here once again to talk about our Vinewood School parking lot. I don't understand why it is glaringly obvious that our community and our staff and our parents do not feel the need to have a new parking lot when there are already issues on the infrastructure that need to be fixed. From the medical community, I think of it like we're gonna force a nose job on you that you don't need, but yet you're in heart failure because your electricity is not working, your plumbing isn't working, but we're gonna have a new nose, but your heart is failing. So that is what I think of when we're being pushed a project upon us that doesn't serve our students and it doesn't serve our campus. So please reconsider not putting in this parking structure when there are glaringly obvious problems that need to be addressed at our children's school. Thank you.
Ron Heberly.
Good evening, everyone. Ron Heberly, 1440 Iris, Lodi. I'll be talking about facilities, same thing as the previous speaker. It's a pretty simple ask, is that the parking lot, which, by the way, no one on the district or on the site facilities committee wanted. Staff didn't want it, faculty didn't want it, parents didn't want it, and here we're gonna have it forced down our throat. I think we all know that projects can change, goals change, priorities change, and it's been a long time since the actual beginning of the Measure U process, where a lot of things have been either added, subtracted, moved to different phase. That's all part of just staying current with what needs to be done. Great examples of that. Lodi High swimming pool. That was not part of the initial approval for Lodi High's remodel. Same thing with Lodi Middle School. I have at least 3 different designs of what we were going to do with Lodi Middle School, and it kept changing and changing, and I'm gonna tell you, it changed for the better every single time. That school site is rocking. I live a couple blocks away from it, and I mean, every corner of that place they're working on. So to make it brief and short, the ask is postpone, pause the parking lot, get the other things that have a stronger effect on the students, such as the classrooms, the infrastructure of electricity and so forth. And all of these things can change. The board can just give consensus, hey, let's pause it, let's look at it, see where we're gonna go from here. It's more important that we deal with things and spend our money closer to where the students are. So that's my request. Pause the parking lot, fix the other stuff first. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Okay. Next, we'll have comments from employee group representatives. The representatives from each employee group will have 3 minutes to comment on non-agendized items.
Good evening, members of the board, Mr. Young, members of the cabinet, Lisa Lennon Wilkins. This is my last meeting as LEA president. And I'm still concerned, but my last 4 years I always bring this up. I'm still concerned about it. And that is the attraction and retention of teachers. This year we had approximately 40 retirees and approximately 40 resignations, and I never did get a number on how many long-term subs we had. But I will assure you it's at least 20. It's probably more. So that's over 100 teachers that we need to replace for the 26-27 school year. I know that we have a new teacher boot camp coming up next month, in about a month, and it will be interesting to see how many teachers are there. But again, what is the district actively doing to keep them? I know that we've been offered, we have the 80% healthcare premiums being paid, and it helps. But unfortunately, even with COLA, it doesn't cover the rise in premiums, and every economic journal I've read has said because of the defunding of the ACA, to expect premiums to really go up in 2027. The state has offered us a super COLA, and I believe the employees, especially those of us who interact with students daily, deserve all of it, as well as the original 2.87. And this will definitely help to recruit and retain our employees. But I really do think we need to take a look, and a serious look, at why we have employees resigning. It has been my experience as president that we have about the same number of employees resign as we have retire every year. And I want to know why that is. I don't believe that the district does exit interviews. I I wish they would, and I wish that the board would insist on it and actually take a look at that data. I know that I talked to Mrs. Alexander when she retired, and she said she did an exit interview, but I don't remember ever seeing anything about it on a board agenda, ever being discussed about what the results are from everyone who left. And we should be taking a look at that. We have a 5-year plan that we're going to be discussing tonight. That should be part of it. Why do people leave this district? Why do people come to this district? How long do they typically stay? I think those are all important questions to ask and to find out why we cannot attract and retain teachers. Thank you.
Good evening, President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young, Rodrigo Contreras, CSCA Lodi, President. Tonight I would like to start by thanking your consideration of our sunshine proposal to the Lodi Unified School District. We reached this proposal by surveying our members, your classified employees, and asking them on the issues with language that they need us to address for a better working environment. In asking for employees' input, we also heard a lot of employees having a difficult time paying their rent, fueling up their vehicles, providing food for their families. We understand that the districts did not create today's financial situations. We also ask it to consider us whenever the opportunity arises. Also, we have been receiving calls and emails on complaints on lack of substitutes, mainly custodial, paraeducator, and nutrition services departments, where employees are having a difficult time with having to meet the needs of their district without the help of substitutes. I'm not supposed to talk about it, but in the agenda, 1, contracts is ESS, and they're having a revised amendment of $140,000. This, when they're not able to meet the district's needs in providing substitutes, we keep reminding that these are duties that are supposed to be provided by classified staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have public comments on consent agenda A. The public may address the board on consent agenda A, routine business. Each public speaker shall have limit comments to 3 minutes. Please state your first and last name before speaking. Before starting, excuse me.
I'm back. Lisa Lennon-Wilkins, LEA President. A1 contracts list. I want to emphasize what my colleague Rodrigo Contreras said regarding the ESS contract. Item number 3 and item number 5 on contract, which is A1. My colleagues are telling me that we are not getting paraeducators. And this is really important in TK classrooms because per ed code, we have to keep up that 10-to-1 ratio. And if a paraeducator is not filled, we are out of compliance with ed code. And there could be a CDE complaint, which would affect funding. The other thing is using ESS for special ed teachers, which is item number 5 on the contracts list. Again, we're hearing that these are not being filled. So increasing that by $20,000 and increasing item number 3 by $100,000, like where is this money going if we're not getting the people who are supposed to be filling those positions?
Hi, my name's Laura Mulcahy again. I was going to speak on reference to A20, the final change order for Tokay High School pool. I see in item 39 and 42, there was approximately $50,000 of repairs to the bulkhead, but the bulkhead is not present. I just coached there about 30 minutes ago. The bulkhead isn't there. So I wouldn't approve the final order if the work is not completed.
The bulkhead is having warranty work done. It is on the property and it's going to be placed back.
Okay, thank you.
Would the board or staff like to pull any items from consent agenda A? Ms. Suarez?
A1.
Oh, excuse
Sorry.
me.
I want to pull A1.
Okay.
And, wait a minute. No, I want to pull. No, that wasn't it. I know it's A1 and there was one more, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you.
I move we approve the
Hold
rest
on
of them.
just one second,
Wait a
Mr.
minute.
Nava.
Wait a minute.
Ms. Suarez.
President Alexander, members of the board, I'd like to pull A-5, please. We will be bringing this back to you in July. Thank you.
Did you find it, Mr. Porter?
I believe it's A2, it could be A3. It has to do with the warrant. I just have a quick question. I have the number, but I forgot to look at the, I forgot to write down the, what it was. But I can go over A1 now and scroll for the other one.
No, we have,
I move we approve it.
hold on.
Okay, I'm gonna pull A1, 2, and 3. How's
Okay,
that?
there we go.
The rest of them.
Just a comment on 813. Thank you for replacing the roof on Thule Morgan.
Okay.
To clarify, you're not pulling it? No, just a comment. Hopefully it happens during the summer.
Okay, Mr. Nava, you made a motion.
I forgot it.
A motion to approve everything except A1, 2, 3, and 5, correct?
I'm not pulling 5, I don't know.
Somebody was pulling 5.
Yes.
Yes.
That was, Ms. Ward, that was
Ms.
coming back in
Suarez.
July.
Yes.
So those have been, that has been pulled for a later date.
Yes.
The other three by Mr. Porter were A1,
One,
A2,
two,
and
and
A3.
three.
So please make a motion to approve all other consent
Motion
agenda
to
items.
approve
All other?
A4 through,
Can I do
All the, just the
Just put
remaining.
all, the remaining.
Before 6.
You didn't like her
You
motion?
don't like the way I did it?
I'm sorry, I thought you looked at me and asked a question. I
No,
don't-
I said, can we?
Okay.
so we're pulling 1, 2, and 3, and 5. I want
And
to
then
approve the
we'll-
rest of the resolutions then.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Who's on first?
What's on separate?
I don't know, third base.
All right.
Call for the
Who was the
vote.
second?
Okay,
who's the first and second?
Ms. Slenderman, second.
Mr. Porter was the first. Even though the first.
Even though I made.
We need a board vote.
We need
Yeah, you need to vote to approve the rest of them.
Roll.
Are we sure?
Jeff, you need to vote? Motion passes in favor, 6-0, 1 absent. Mr. Porter, would you like to address your
Yeah,
concerns?
A1, I just have a question for Ms. Church and Ms. Holbert. It's $142,000 that we are now being told to revise, is that correct?
Can you clarify specifically which of the?
$202,000 on E3, 4, and 5, right? So maybe my math is off. Yeah, it's 140 plus 70, it's $210,000. Is that correct?
Are you looking at the ESS?
Yes.
Contract.
It's 3, 4, and 5.
So each one of those is for different departments to,
Of ESS, so I need clarification to vote on this, because the total comes out to $210,000.
correct, it's the cost of the substitute coverage.
Yeah, we were told that that amount would be negligible, and now suddenly when you look at this, especially when you have a revised amount of $108,000, I believe that's number 3, what happened?
When you say negligible, can you explain what you mean?
Initially, I thought it was gonna be cost prohibitive, not cost, I'm trying to think of the word, cost effective, and now it's being cost infection. Where we have $100,000 being revised on 3, and then on 4 and 5, you've got 32,000, you got 70,000.
So these are the costs of the substitutes that are working, whereas previously the substitutes would have been under a general budget and not on.
So why does the contract say a certain amount and then there was a change? Did you not estimate that correctly?
There are estimates from each department on how much their substitutes cost, and it was just that, an estimate. And yes, they're having to be adjusted as more positions are being
The board
covered.
informed that would be over $92,000 or $100,000 on one. That's a pretty bad adjustment. I mean, in my mind, if you're gonna be doing a contract, you should be within the ballpark. We're at 100 grand.
Point of clarification, if I could.
Yeah.
That would have been the equal cost that would have been in our budget as it was previously paid for in our budget.
Correct.
So that's not any different. It's just now being funded out of ESS instead of out of general fund. It's the cost of substitutes.
No one's listening to me. Then why didn't we put that in the original contract? Because you know what you spend at this time of the year. Why did you project $8,000 and had to do amendment of $100,000?
Those estimates came from the individual departments from working with budget.
Well, not to pick on you, Ms. Church, your name is with this.
Correct, and there are multiple budgets that have been moved to be under the personnel budget that previously were not there. All of the ed services budgets that used to pay for substitutes, I worked with Ms. Juarez, and they were moved into the personnel budget, so that also would account for the change.
Then, and I'm not trying to be rude here at all, to all three, well, Ms. Juarez and Ms. Holberg. Wouldn't you think it prudent to send out an email to the board saying this is coming down the pipe? Instead of having this show up? I mean, I was out of town, so I did my review last night. That we're gonna have a pretty significant change that you have to approve. And this is why? Because there's no explanation. And I've repeatedly said this about changes in the budget where we have no explanation, but yet we're supposed to approve. Does that make sense? I mean, that makes sense to me. I have to stand up here and represent my people in Area 4. And they say, well, why was it $100,000 over? And I'm fiscally prudent, this is taxpayer money. You're saying it was a shift, okay. Then I need to take this if people ask and explain it. And it wasn't explained to me for items 3, 4, and 5. So what do you think we should be doing here moving forward?
Moving forward, I certainly can give you an update when these contracts change and are adjusted. Be happy to do that.
All right, thank you for your time. And then I have another one on, it's either A2 or A3, and I really apologize for not having it correct. But it involves, the number is 16491315. It's either on A2 or A3. And the next one is 164712009 or 309. I can't even remember my own handwriting. And I don't know if that's contract 2 or 3. So can I pull that up? Let's go to warrants listing. I can give you the title of them. You can explain it to me. How's that?
That would be great.
Okay. The title of them is Solution Tree. We're spending $7,000. And I think we sent some teachers to conference here at Solution Tree. Is that correct?
Yeah, that'd be correct. That'd be a PLC conference.
Okay. Now, we're using visible learning though, according to Dr. Horton.
We
That's
do
our
use
instructional
visible
team.
learning, yes.
So why aren't we a complete PLC school district? Why are we doing a piece here and a piece there instead of following the PLC all the way through? Because we sent teachers, when I looked at the conference, to PLC or PLC Plus, whatever you want to call it. And why would we just be under one umbrella so there'd be a series of consistency? Why are we using visible learning as a new instructional learning or instructional teaching, but yet we're setting people for PLC, which my mind's great. I love PLC, I've been to it. Solution Tree, great job. And I wish our district had adopted it wholesale because it really allows for teacher empowerment and collaboration and decision-making. And I'm just curious why not following visible learning with everybody else. Why are we doing this, what I call puzzle?
So I think an easy explanation for that would be that in the visible learning world, or at least through the Corwin pipeline, they have a product called PLC Plus. Solution Tree calls theirs PLC. There are other vendors that have other things that are similar. From our point of view, what we've been working on is helping people design a more vendor agnostic view of what teaming can be, because the basic principles and tenets that those outfits put forward are very beneficial. They all fall under an umbrella of teacher collective efficacy. They're all powerful in their teaming concepts. It's almost like which faith you choose can be up to the beholder. From my seat where I sit with that would be, I would much rather have people learn about teaming regardless of which banner they're under and be able to come back and operate that well than to have no training at all. So right now, it's been very beneficial to have people pick up different learning from different places, bring it back, and then decide how are we going to have a quality and faithful implementation when you bring it back to a school team setting. Generally, that's where those processes fall down. It's not because you went to a conference to learn something, it's that you didn't put it into implementation practice and stick with it.
Yeah, I've been to a Solution Tree with Mr. Young, and I was quite invigorated by it, especially the amount of teachers that were there as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, if you follow that pathway, you can be labeled a PLC school by them.
Yeah, almost all the vendors have some kind of certification or other kind of badges that can be earned, whether it's for the school or the team.
So then visible learning is PLC Plus?
Yeah, they've called theirs PLC Plus.
Okay, so we could become a PLC Plus district?
And be certified, sure.
Certified?
Yeah.
And is that something we're choosing to do?
We're certainly driving in that direction, but at this time there are some schools that are doing some good and solid work with PLC Solution Tree. I'm not going to get in their way doing that. I'm a fan. I think if people are going to do something and they find that to be positive for them, that's good. I would rather have some teaming direction than none, and if they're excited about that, I'm in favor.
Yeah, but this gets back to what I was hoping for is a clear vision. And if we go PLC through Solution Tree, of course we have in Lodi one of the main individuals involved in that whole arena. Then they have a series of resources made available for them through that company. But the way we're doing it now is piecemeal to me, and I don't like that. I would like all the teachers to know exactly where we're going through. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not asking the board to agree with me. But if we're going PLC, great. Go PLC Plus, great. I agree with you that they overlap in a lot of areas. But I think to have one group go one way and one group would go another way within your district is not healthy. And this is our problem, I feel, is that we need more collaboration and direction. I don't want my army going to the left and part of the army going to the right because they got two different methods of doing things. Kind of what I'm saying there, even though the methods kind of overlap. So that's just my concern.
Sure.
I'm voicing that. And then the other one is Jerry Adams. I thought that we were done with Jerry Adams. And I believe we're into him now for $7,000 now, one grant, and I believe the total is going to be $17,000. And what is his work product?
I can get you some additional details on his work product and what he does with the school per his contract. But I would like to remind you that we do have an RFP for security services that is closing this month, so it will be coming to the board as soon as those proposals have been evaluated once received.
So his contract's up in?
June 30th.
June 30.
Yeah, based on direction you gave us last year, at the end of this contract year, we put it out for anyone to bid to take on the role of security support for us.
I thought it was going to be done in January, I'm sorry. So we're doing that now coming up.
The contract he was on was through June of this year.
Okay.
That's why we're doing it in the spring.
All right, thank you for your time. That's all I have.
Okay. Pardon? We need motions for.
Motion to approve 1, 2, wait, did 5 to do?
We need
Sorry.
to
No.
Five is
5 is pulled.
Five is
So 1,
pulled.
2, and 3. I motion that we approve
Second.
A, 1, 2, and 3.
One at a time, please.
We have to do them one at a time?
Yes.
With their
All
individual.
right, so I motion to approve A1.
Second.
Board vote, please.
I motion to approve A2.
Second.
Hold on, please let me read out.
Oh, sorry. I apologize.
That was my fault.
Motion passes. In favor, 6-0, 1 absent.
Motion to approve A2.
Second.
Board vote. Motion passes. In favor, 6-0, 1 absent.
Motion to approve A3.
Second.
Board vote. And motion passes in favor, 6-0, 1 absent. Next, public comments on consent agenda B, please. Public may address the board on consent agenda B, student matters. Each public speaker shall limit comments to 3 minutes. Are there any public comments on consent agenda B, student matters?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Board vote, please. Motion passes in favor, 6-0, 1 absent. Next, public comments on other action items. Public may address the board on other action items. Each public speaker shall limit comments to 3 minutes. Are there any public comments on other action items?
Sorry, I come with so many questions. Laura Mulcahy. I was looking at the amended policy of OAI-4. It looks like, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like the city will have to pay for use of the school facilities, but a lot of our facilities have been built and funded in conjunction with the city. So it looks like they're now being charged a fee for usage.
This is the overall board policy. The board does have a joint use agreement specifically with the city of Lodi and the city of Stockton that dictates what they will or won't pay for any of the facilities. Pretty much won't pay. They don't pay.
I just wanted to clarify because it was a very vague. I just wanted to make sure that people can still use the facilities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa Lennon Wilkins again. Okay, so I'm looking at OAI 2. And I'm looking at, we're gonna look at 43 emergency permits. I am assuming those are PIPs and STIPs. And another 82 limited assignment permits. That's 125 not fully qualified teachers in our classrooms. So again, I bring back to my previous comments about recruiting and retaining teachers, because this is very frightening to me. 125 not fully qualified teachers in our classrooms with emergency permits, intern permits, and STIPs and PIPs, which are basically long-term subs. And again, what are we as a district doing to address this? Again, and then we also talking about OAI 5, the 5-year strategic plan. Didn't see a lot about that in the 5-year strategic plan. Maybe I missed it, and if I did, I'm happy to be corrected. But that should be a main goal in my participation there. I know that that's came to be a #1 goal for all the participants, is to make sure that we had qualified teachers in all of our classrooms. Thank you.
Okay, other action items, item OAI-1, Ms. Church.
President Alexander, members of the board, before you for your approval is the request for 3 provisional intern permits.
Any board comments?
Motion to approve.
Tag.
Age before beauty.
Mr. Nava motions.
Second.
Board vote. Motion passes 6-0, 1 absent. Item OAI-2, Ms. Church.
President Alexander, members of the board, before you for your approval is the annual declaration of need to be submitted to the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing to cover those teachers who may be on an intern permit or teaching outside of their credentialed area.
Board comments?
I move we approve. Second.
Question.
You have-
I have a question.
Okay.
You're really fast, Mr. Nava.
I mean, I don't have any
Okay.
questions, I know.
Oh, well, looking at this last couple of years, do we see an increasing trend in the use of these permits? And then are we seeing that they're getting their teaching credentials and giving them the support they need to succeed?
I don't have that data in front of me. I would speak to the trend that I am seeing in our hiring, and I would say that we are trending toward more qualified applicants, especially this year.
So
Currently we have, for example, 3 elementary vacancies.
And we're giving them the support they need in the classroom so that they're not only succeeding as teachers or educators, but the students don't feel like they're not without a teacher or without that support.
Respectfully, that's not something that comes through the personnel department. That would be something more for an ed services or our leadership in ed services to respond. The feedback that we get is that our new teachers feel supported. They work with mentors and they are provided professional development. I don't know if you want to add anything. We have a residency program that is very healthy.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have robust programs for everyone, but to get specific granular data on an individual person, I would need to know more about which person I'm going to go query.
Would like to make sure that we have the systems, processes in place and that we're making sure we're looking into the effectiveness of that system, because there is a large number there.
We do have a very robust new teacher induction program and professional development support for them.
Also, please keep in mind, these numbers are estimates only, and we annually overestimate, because underestimating would mean we would have to halt any hiring for people and have to return to the board and go through the process again with the commission.
May I have a motion, please?
Motion approved. Second.
We already
We
had
had
it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am so
Yeah,
sorry.
that's
Mr.
okay.
Nava, I give you credit for that
That's okay,
motion.
thank you.
The second was Mr. Stroh. Is that what you, thank you.
No.
Board vote, please. Motion, excuse me, motion passes in favor 6-0, one absent. Next item, OAI-3, Ms. Church.
President Alexander, members of the board, I am very happy to present our tentative agreement with the teachers for the transfer and assignments article. We worked very hard on this together.
Board
For your
comments.
I move we approve. Second.
Did I cut you off?
No, I'm just very happy that this is here.
Thank you. We'll take happy. Mr. Nava, motion. Mr. Porter, second. Board vote, please. Motion passes 6-0, one absent. Item OAI-4, Ms. Holbert.
Thank you, President Alexander, members of the board, and Superintendent Young. Before you are modification recommendations to the Facility Use Board Policy 1330. The modifications in the policy are specifically to meet Ed Code and California Code and Election Code changes. And I appreciate the consideration of bringing this directly to the board. I know it's supposed to go to the subcommittee first. We're asking for that consideration just due to the timing to have this in place on July 1st so we can open up the facility use calendar for community and our other groups to start scheduling their activities. Thank you.
Thank you. Any board comments?
Move we approve.
Mr. Nava. Second, Ms. McFarland. Board vote, please. Motion passes 6-0, one absent. Item OAI-5, Mr. Young.
Yes, President Alexander, members of the board, before you this evening is the finalized 5-year strategic plan titled Our Next Chapter. You'll see two documents there. One is the overall strategic plan as well as a shortened version, or a short story, as it were, for our community, for our school side, for our staff, for all of us to have guidance as we move forward. Fortunately, I can say under Focus Area 4, employee success is very important, and you'll see embedded in there the community group that came together, their input, which will guide us in decision-making moving forward. So it's for your approval.
Thank you. Board comments?
Move we approve.
Hold on, do you have a comment?
I do have a
Oh,
comment.
sorry.
I think I appreciate that we had a lot of community input, and as much as I would love to have had a little bit more board input in the strategic plan where we could see results or have numbers, this is better than nothing. It is a step in a direction. I just was disappointed with the process for like being able to provide input.
Okay.
Any other comment?
Motion to approve. Second.
Board vote?
Motion passes 5 in favor, 1 opposed, 1 absent. Public comments on reports. Public may address the board on reports. Each public speaker shall limit comments to 3 minutes. Are there any public comments on reports?
I'm back again. Yes, on, I don't know if it's a number, I guess it's not a number. The Joe Cerna Junior Charter School Annual Update. So I was reading through it, and I guess my question is it common to have a 10% carryover or reserve at this site? So when I was looking through, that's what I saw. I know that I've talked to teachers there about wanting some of the same programs that some of our sites that are not charter schools have. And it's a significant amount, and I'm wondering if why it's being carried over and why it's not being used for some of the programs that the teachers want at that site. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we'll have reports. Mr. Dawson.
Good evening, Board President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young. Today we're presenting an informational report for potential Title I expansion, looking at a phased-in approach. But to present this information, I want to call up Ms. Kelly Collins and Ms. Jamie Kajpolinski.
Could you tell us what group you're with before we get started?
Yes, Kelly Collins, Title I Coordinator for Area 1.
Thank you.
And Jamie Kite-Kolinsky, Title I Coordinator for Area 2.
Thank you.
All right, good evening, Board. As President Alexander, Superintendent Young. Tonight's informational report provides an overview of Lodi Unified's planned expansion of Title I eligibility. Next slide. Oh, you're good. Our goal is to expand access to Title I to additional schools through a phased, compliance-aligned approach. This allows more students and families to benefit from federal resources while protecting current support for schools with the highest poverty rates and the greatest needs. We wanted to give you a little overview of just what Title I is. We talk about Title I all the time, but we wanted to provide just a little bit more information about this specific funding. Title I is a federal program that provides additional funding to schools serving higher percentages of socioeconomically disadvantaged students. These funds help our schools provide extra academic support, strengthen family engagement, and increase access to a high-quality education. Title I funds are very restrictive. They must be supplemental and tied directly to needs identified in the school plan for student achievement. Funds may support intervention, staffing, materials, professional learning, and family engagement, but they cannot replace services or staff that the district is already required to provide. There are allowable and unallowable Title I expenses, and we talk a lot about what's allowable, what's not allowable, and so I provided a slide to demonstrate kind of a quick decision guide that our schools use and our principals talk about often. In order to be Title I eligible, these are some questions we ask ourselves. What does the student need? Is it supplemental? Is it in the school plan for student achievement? Is it evidence-based, research-based? And are we confident that it will contribute to improved outcomes for our students? If we answer no to any of those questions, we kind of go back and have more discussion to ensure that we're not supplanting basic services. Right now, we have 25 Title I schools. We have 20 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, and 2 high schools that participate, and they have a school-wide Title I program. This is where it gets a little bit exciting. It's how do we determine that you're a Title I school, that you're going to be eligible for this additional funding. Title I schools are identified through a rank order process using state-approved free and reduced price meal poverty data. We run this data every year. It comes out with the October CalPADS information. It's CalPADS Report 1.1. And we identify using the free and reduced price meal poverty data to determine which schools will be eligible for Title I school-wide support. In California and in Lodi Unified School Districts, in California, schools may operate a Title I school-wide program when the poverty rate is 40% or higher. Districts can establish their local eligibility threshold at or above that rate. And you can see it can be for between 40% and 75%, with 75% being the greatest. Meaning if you are receiving Title I funding as a district and your school is 75% or higher, you must be included as a Title I school-wide program. In Lodi Unified School District, we have selected that 75% or greater threshold to operate a school-wide program. While this threshold is allowable, you can see that it is on the more restrictive side. It's the most restrictive approach that a district can take. Many districts use lower thresholds. I did a big search of our surrounding districts and even kind of spanning throughout California. It's not an easy, the threshold is not an easy percentage to find. It's not something you just find on a school website, or it's not easily, you kind of have to do some digging, but I did do some polling and reached out to other districts, and I couldn't find one with 75% as that threshold. So we are looking at expanding our Title I to expand it to additional schools, and we want the board to be in the know of all of this, and we want to ensure that you know that we're taking a very compliance-aligned approach to this. We recognize that it is important to make sure we protect our schools and our students with the highest needs. We want to make sure we will be staying in compliance with equity through rank and serve, and we will use the state-approved ways to identify what that threshold is through the preparation and annual validation of our Title I measures for poverty measures. On this slide, you can see we are taking a phased approach to this expansion. For phase 1, you can see the schools that will be based on the 25-26 CalPADS data. In phase 1, the schools on the screen, Joe Cerna, Plaza Robles, Lakewood, Mosier, Independence, and Lockford would be a part of Title I. They will have a planning year. So they've all gotten their invites to all the Title I meetings for next school year to be able to prepare. This will involve developing a school site council. This will involve all of their community, school community being involved in ensuring that there is a comprehensive needs assessment. That's an annual requirement of Title I. And from there, they will develop their own school plan for student achievement, which is also, just to point out, is an alignment, must be aligned to the LCAP. And now we will also have the strategic plan so that all of those things are married together and we're rowing in the same direction. Then in the 27-28 school year, based on the 25-26 data, should that data remain at or about the same, those schools would still fall into Title I, and they would receive their first allocation. So their implementation of their school plan would actually start and their funding would come in for the 27-28 school year. And then phase 2, you can see on the next slide, would be lowering that threshold by a little bit more. But you are allowed to lower it by grade span, and we've chosen K6 to be at the 65% threshold and 60% for our middle and high schools. Okay? Just to kind of show, these are a lot of numbers, but we did want to just show like a scenario of what, how does this impact our current Title I schools? As you can see, we have a lot of our Title I principals, some vice principals here today, and they know the hard work that goes into implementing their school plan for student achievement and utilizing those funds in a productive and impactful way for our students. So this is just a scenario to show you what how that may affect the funding that our schools get. Currently, we fund elementary schools at a higher per pupil rate than our middle and our high schools, and we would continue to do so. There would be a decrease in per pupil. We believe that based on the trends of the spending of our sites, the funds that are spent by our sites year over year, that we can handle that change of allocation per school, because we're still getting that same amount of money as a district, and now we're going to spread it out to some additional schools. Okay. On the next slide, you can see middle and high school. It says impact of lowering that. I did want to draw your attention. This again is just a scenario. These are not exact numbers. It's based on data from 25-26, and that data, of course, will change based on data confirmation that's coming in for 26-27 and year over year. Also, this scenario, while it says middle and high schools, the data on the allocation impact and the newly eligible schools only demonstrates the high school on this slide. We can provide that data for the middle schools, but based on our projections and looking at our trends of the spending at the middle school level, there's more than we are confident that we can include those middle schools, Krista McAuliffe and Millswood Middle School, in phase 2, which would be 27-28, with a planning year and implementation 28-29. All right, so kind of finally, we want to really assure you as a board that we are being prudent with the funding, that we will ensure that we don't just rush into something, that no Title I funds are spent during those planning years. It's not like, here's all this money, now go figure it out. We'll be very methodical, really support our schools as they develop their school site councils, and the training that goes into developing a school plan, in implementing a comprehensive needs assessment to make sure your entire school community is involved. They'll have that year of planning, it's important. And we also are working, we know that going into include additional schools into Title I impacts other departments. So we've thought about what is that cross-department coordination with budget, with accounting, with all of our different departments that support our Title I schools. So we have thought of those things and have put those guardrails in place. And then in conclusion, this framework supports a sustainable, a compliant, and a student-centered Title I expansion. And we really appreciate the board's continued support of our Title I programs. And at this time, if you have any questions, we are here to answer them for you.
Any board questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
And you guys consider the risks to the other budgets and ancillary processes. Did you guys consider what is the risk of pushing out into phase 1, phase 2 to those the subgroup of students that are not going to be receiving services for that additional year? Like, is there any risk to those students? Any additional risks or any mitigations? I know you cannot spend the Title I money, but looking at that, they also will be an additional year without additional services.
So you mean the phased approach of allowing a year for planning?
Yes.
We did.
One of them, the phase 2 is 2 years.
Yes, the phase 2 is 2 years. Well, since we haven't even been able to identify exactly what year the 75% threshold has been in place. But the schools that would be expanded to Title I have not had that experience of receiving any of that funding. So it's, I believe they're excited that there is an opportunity for them to be included in as a Title I school-wide program in the future. In order to establish and follow the implementation guidelines for receiving Title I funding, you need to develop a school plan for student achievement. And that process is, believe it or not, it's a year-long process. There are program evaluations that take place. There's a comprehensive needs assessment, a root cause analysis. We have probably 20 people back here that can tell you about the process to develop that SIPSA. And so we just really, with July 1 being the launch, not having a year to plan would be, we don't feel would be enough support to our schools to truly be able to implement such a thing.
The planning year would be the 26-27, starting in August, right? Or July, July 24th.
Right, so the phase 1 schools, July 1 is going to happen, and those schools will start the process of developing a school site council, because you can't have a school plan for student achievement without a school site council to approve it.
That's correct.
Yeah, so they would take, they'll start running elections this fall and elect officers.
So then they have a full year planning, and then they go into implementation, but then the other phase 2 school has 2 years essentially of waiting before implementation.
Right, and the thinking behind the phased approach was we want to make sure that there's not too great of an impact to our existing Title I schools with the highest need. It was very important to us to make sure that we believe that it will be good and that we will be able to handle that in Title I without diluting the support to our schools with the highest need. But we want to be sure. We don't want to put it out there and say, okay, we're gonna give it to all, to drop it, down to the 60% and 65% right off the bat. And then, maybe federal money is lower, or, the allocations change and we're not able to handle that. So that was the thinking between the phased approach.
So then do we bring this back to the board for approval after the 70% year for an analysis?
This process doesn't require a board approval. This is truly informational. Make sure you're aware that we are trying to expand it so more schools are considered, but being prudent in that process to not harm those who are already Title I. So just make sure you're aware.
I just have a curiosity question, really. It was a great report. I read it pretty thoroughly. Who decided the 75%?
We can't find that in the history. It's one of those, that's how it's always been.
Boy, that is not a good answer.
I can't speak to it. I do know I can date all the way back to when Debbie DeGana was the Title I coordinator, and that's how it was then, and that was probably in 2007 when I worked with her, and I know it predated that as well. So
I'm just curious.
I don't know how that decision was made.
Okay, thank you very much.
I had a quick question for the schools that are coming on board. One of the things I think was very frustrating about Title I was the ebb and flow of, oh, your school's Title I this year versus not. Another frustrating thing was where the funds can be spent. How do you support the site administrators to know exactly where that comes and what they can pass along, because there's nothing more frustrating from a teaching standpoint than going, I need this so badly, but we can't pay for that through Title I. So how do you support admin to filter that down so that their teachers as well as staff know about that?
Yeah, I think our principals do a fantastic and phenomenal job of really explaining the restrictions of Title I. And thankfully, there have been some other budgets most budgets actually are less restrictive than Title I, so we try at the school site level to say, instead of, if a principal calls and says, hey, I want to purchase, I really need another cabinet for my STEAM teacher. Well, that would be great. They really need that for all of their supplies and some of their new 3D things or whatever that the STEAM things are. And so instead of just saying, nope, Title I is restrictive, then we go through a process with them and say, you know what, that isn't allowable under Title I. We will get audited. We just had federal program monitoring, so we are all very much aware of what we can and cannot do. But we say, let's look at some of your other budgets. Maybe there's something you're purchasing right now with SAS that is Title I allowable, and we can purchase that with the Title I funding so that then we can get that cabinet with another funding source. So we try to really work together as a team to ensure the best outcome for our staff and our students.
Thank you. Any other board comments?
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
good-
much for your time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Great
Good
report.
report.
very thorough, thank you.
Next report, Dr. Horton.
They're already
You're already there. School plan for achievement.
So Kelly just shared the exciting news about the possibility of continued growth of our Title I program and the expansion of additional services. I have the privilege of presenting our 26-27 Title I SIPSAs for your review. The plans before you reflect the collaborative efforts of our Title I principals and vice principals, school site council, ELAC committees, staff, families, and school communities. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our school teams for the significant work involved in analyzing school needs, establishing goals, and thoughtfully aligning federal resources to support student need. Our teachers and families have been a large part of the Title I funds, and so in being a large piece of that and having a voice, they know where our Title I funds will be used for that school year. So what we'd like to do that now is go on to our TSI sites. I'll go on to the next one. So in addition, we're presenting the 26-27 ATSI, TSI, and CSI plans for board review. These are state-required school improvement plans for students identified through the California dashboard based on student groups or school-wide performance. Several of the plans before you tonight also address state accountability requirements. So schools are identified TSI, ATSI, or CSI in their planning. So it is an additional goal in their SIPSA. A school does not need to be Title I in order to be identified as TSI, ATSI, or CSI. So that's why you will see some of the schools that are not Title I.
So, point of clarification, because these all require the plan, some are SIPSA under Title I, but also the additional planning, we're sharing both of those with you. And because we have site leaders who could answer specific questions about those, if you do have any of those questions, we're bringing both of those reports together, even though they have to remain separate, and when they come back for approval, they will have to remain separate. But these are the documents that sites put together for school improvement. All right.
Any board comments?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Based on these reports that they do every year, is that correct?
This is an annual process that we bring in, yes.
How much improvement have they seen overall? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, say that.
I moving the microphone here. So this report that they use the dashboard as their guideline, is that correct?
For CSI, ATSI, and TSI.
So how have we done year in, year out?
I think
So you have a
pretty
report
well.
every year. So I'm
Right,
looking
and
for data here.
So our number of schools have decreased. There are ebbs and flows though where the state will bring on an additional measurement. So we are new to TSI, so they will have ATSI, TSI, CSI. The state will bring on an additional measure where they will bring a new
Category?
requirement, exactly. And so, but we do see that our sites are coming out of CSI or mainly ATSI and TSI rather quickly. But what we want to do is ensure that they are not coming out and then going right back in. So,
Right. So what was your improvement from last year to this year? Overall?
I would say maybe half.
I think part of the problem is you're asking a question about overall, and each of these is an individual plan, and it's built into the plan to show
Correct.
those
But we're
pieces.
given an overall plan. I mean, each school has their own plan.
Correct.
But they're presenting an overall plan.
what they're doing is presenting all the plans
That
for
are
each
available
site.
for us to look through.
But we can,
And I asked aggregately,
Right.
how are we doing?
I do not have the numbers as far as CSI, ATSI, TSI. We are looking fairly good in our specific school SIPSAs. And if you go through and look at each individual SIPSA, you will see the analysis in the first part, so you'll see the year prior. So in the current SIPSAs for the 26-27 school year, you'll see the data analysis piece first for the 25-26 school year. So every school site will have that piece.
Okay, so let's say you have a school that's doing really well. It pops out. Do you take things from that school to use with the other schools, or is this just a standalone?
We are constantly sharing, so when we come together, we are doing it in our Title I meetings, in our cohort meetings. We are learning from each other. We're constantly talking about how we can improve our
Well,
student success.
I know our board is really involved in test scores and data to see how we're doing or improving. And I'd love to see your aggregate for all your schools, either in ATSI or TSI. The acronyms, I don't know how you guys stay up with them, but thank you for your report. It's very nice. And then thank you to all the schools. And I guess it would be the principals that put those together. It's a lot of work. And I would love to see the aggregate.
Bring that back.
Okay. Next, Mr. Horton, Dr. Horton, I'm sorry, are we going to the CSI?
So now
I
we
know
have
you
our
were saying-
final, which is our Title I Parent and Family Engagement Policies. So this policy is also a federal requirement for Title I school sites and outlines how schools will partner with families to support student learning. So it is one of the pieces, one of the goals, goal 3 in the SIPSAs. Okay. So the policy was developed and reviewed with parent input and approved through local processes and distributed to families in an understandable and accessible format. So that will go out at the beginning of the school year. It also includes requirements related to annual Title I meetings. So when those meetings are, opportunities for parent feedback. There's quite a few opportunities for parent feedback, input, being part of the school community, and capacity building. We are really trying to make our school sites open to the public and to our families as much as possible. We have to get pretty creative, but that's what we're here for. Funding is aligned to support parent engagement activities, so each school site has an allotted amount of money that will support those student and parent activities. And you will find that in their SIPSAs. All 3 of these items will come back to the board for your approval next week.
Any board comments?
Thank you for your report.
Thank you. Thank you to our principals.
Very nice. Wow. Next, Mr. Lambert, Local Control and Accountability Plan.
Good evening, Board President Alexander, Superintendent Young, and members of the board. Tonight, we are presenting the 2026-2027 LCAP Federal Addendum for ESSA, Every Student Succeeds Act, which is a federal program, part of the state LCAP. So this addendum supplements our LCAP and outlines how federal funds will support district priorities, including student achievement, English learners, professional development, school climate, and technology. Staff recommends that you approve this addendum on the June 16, 2026 board meeting, and staff are here available to answer any questions should you have any.
right. Any board comments?
Yeah, a nice job on the improvement in the test scores.
As we get
Our teachers and administrators did an excellent job with their
Good.
students this year.
Ms. Linderman?
So as we finish this third year and go into a planning year, I mean, will that be something that we look at as subcommittee? Oh. Oh. Okay. Just maybe look at next year having a subcommittee for planning for the third year, since this one is the third year and it's gonna conclude.
Subcommittee forum
For our planning,
to involve who?
involve the board or the community for planning.
Point of clarification, the community is involved in the process, but if the board has a right to create a subcommittee, if you want to have a subcommittee specifically to participate in creating the goals for the new cycle, which will start next year. We'll begin developing it next school year for the new 3-year implementation. So that's up to the board.
So that could be looked at maybe in December when we're going through and putting in. Pardon?
School already started.
The
No.
SIPSA plan starts, I believe the process starts in January.
Yes.
So it'll start in January of 27.
27, okay.
So it's possible, and as board president, you and I can discuss that and see if that's, you want to add that or the consensus of the board.
Okay.
Can you clarify that a little bit, or what do you mean, subcommittee, like you want to help them make the decisions on the plan, or you're just looking to have a deeper understanding of the knowledge?
Because in the study session, we have high-level information
Yes.
on what is the output, but maybe instead of having all those questions, maybe a concentrated group where like we're getting these questions and in the subcommittee, kind of like what we do with the policy committee. We go into a deep dive and then provide input and then get our questions answered at a deeper level. That way we can kind of maximize the time of the study session.
We already have 2 board members that are part of this, or I'm confused.
Oh, this is, well, I'm just.
She's giving an example.
Yeah, example.
Why, I asked, clarify.
No, no, I know.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
I just asked Peter if are you ready for this to be implemented?
Yes,
No additions, nothing else?
no, we're ready for it to be implemented.
I think
And we would definitely invite the board to participate in any of the subgroups next year with the planning, so the board is always welcome to participate with any of the planning groups in the LCAP. We can certainly share information, times, and dates so that you're welcome to participate.
That'd be great to do that. And then perfect. Thank you. Any other board comments about that?
No.
Next, Mr. Lambert as well.
Good evening again, Board President Alexander, Superintendent Young, and members of the board. Tonight we'll receive an update for the annual Joseph Cerna Jr. Charter School. This report will highlight school progress, key areas of focus, and ongoing efforts to support students and families. At this time, I'd like to introduce our amazing principal, Alejandra Estrada, to present our report.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, President Alexander, Superintendent Young, and members of the board. It's great. I can't believe it's already been a year. So here you have before you the report for the annual report. And so the executive summary provides an overview of the specific slides that we're going to be reviewing. And on page 3 of the slides, that gives us the overview of the school attendance, suspension rates, expulsion. And then on to the next slide. We have seen an increase in our English language arts, mathematics, and EL reclassification. And then we have on our last slide here, we have our financial report, and it just gives an overview of where we are for the 25-26 school year. And that's all I have. And then, sorry, one more page. So our focus area on the last section here, So we'll continue, it gives an overview of everything we're going to continue, but also specifically in our CSEA. And also just team building, we're also outreaching with Corwin Consultants. We also are continuing our analyzing student data. And I'm gonna make sure we're continuing our budget department overview of, for LCAP specifically, and also continuing our dual language focus and making sure we're bringing professional development that's aligned to our dual language program. And also continuing our iReady mathematics. It's also now available in Spanish and has been for the last couple of years, so it's really great to have that parallel to LUSD. Also continuing to build our relationships with our parents, collaborating with our PTA, and getting our parents to participate in 30 hours a year. And we'll also continue with our PBIS and looking to apply for recognition this year.
Thank you. Board comments?
Yes, I'm impressed with your school attendance increase. And of course, your suspension doesn't very well. You have no suspension, do you?
Yeah, well, we have, you know, sometimes students will make the best choices.
What do you do with them? Just send them home or what?
It depends. It's on, based on situation, you know, as we know, suspension isn't the best route to get students, and sometimes these are the highest need students that really need to stay on school, so we come up with alternatives to suspension. But primarily, you know, we do our best to make sure we're communicating with the families, the parents, teachers, couldn't do it without them, our support staff, everyone's amazing, to making sure we're always checking that the students are making good choices. But, you know, there are times when they don't make the best choice, but we do our best to kind of guide them.
Are you doing better at that new site? It's not a new site, but I know where.
Yes, now that we have the whole campus itself, but we still take into consideration any Houston families that come to register. If they let us know that that they had, you know, children that came to Houston and would like to have their child learn Spanish, then we take them into consideration and add them on there, just to still keep that partnership. We don't want them to think that because Houston closed, we're not accepting any of them and they have to go elsewhere. So we do give them that opportunity to still be part of the community, and they're at Cerna.
Awesome. Any other comments? Awesome, great job, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Are there any board advisory committee reports? None. How about comments from the board? Mr. Narada?
Well, I just hope that they resolve all the parking problems at that school that we're talking about. Vinewood, excuse me. And, you know, I know some of the people chose to say fix the problems that they have and not the parking, but that's their priority. Edith, are you leaving us?
Yes, sir, I am.
Well, you haven't known anything about it. I just heard the little mouse tell me, hey, she's leaving. Where are you going?
I am moving to Arizona.
Oh, you're moving out of the state.
I am, yes.
Oh, well, my gosh, such a wonderful job. When is this happening?
Next week, June 18th.
So a good thing that I mentioned this, because this is the last time we're gonna see you.
Oh, well, I have one more meeting, the 16th.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
You voted on it. You voted on it tonight.
Yeah.
I'll reserve all that till next meeting.
Okay.
She's getting insurance and all, you voted on it tonight.
Thank you for
That's
that.
the one you have a question, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Porter, comments?
Oh, yeah, we got too much to talk about. I seem to be the gift of gab. Anyway, in order, 'cause it's been a while. FFA, 50 years at Touquet, unbelievable. The teachers and staff there that put it on was tremendous, and food trucks. The kids were amazing. The sense of belonging to an organization at the school was I left there with a tremendously warm and happy feeling. What they've got going on there at Tokay is really special. And as I said earlier, or a couple of days ago to Dr. Horton, this is kind of a template for what we need to do across the board, is create this idea that, not an idea, but a sense of belonging for all avenues of education for kids, whether it's going on to college or trades or whatever. When they step on campus, they have a purpose, and other people that along with, or med tech or whatever you want to get into. Is it med tech? I think I got to say that correctly. So that FFA was just over the top, and I believe McInerney was there, and Mr. Valente, is that correct? He's the head manager for Couts Farms, ready to donate more money. And he himself is a farmer. His kids went through the program. It was just a great experience. And those kids, you know, when you talk to them, they shook your hand, they look you in the eye, and amazing what she's got going on over there. My concern with that FFA for all our schools is the number of hours. I thought I did a lot when I was coaching and teaching. But man, are they putting a lot of time, especially during the winter and summer, taking care of the facilities and so forth, and then going to all the competitions. It's way beyond, I think, what we realize, and I think that's something our district needs to look into. Graduations, unbelievable. For me, like the FFA, it's great to see the kids involved and giving them diplomas. It's really a warm time for me, and I love them. I hit 6. I know that Jeff probably did more and everybody else. But
You beat me this time.
I did? Rare. But I did the 4 high schools, and it was really well done, and I enjoyed them tremendously. And then the Gantner opening was a lot of fun. We had board members McFarland, Miss Alexander, and I'm leaving somebody out, Mr. Stroh. Mr. Stroh there as well, and Edith put on a very nice ceremony, and Mr. Young was there, and that was pretty positive to think we're opening a new school. And one of the few schools that are doing that, I was over in Santa Cruz and they're closing schools. I was at an event over there. Most districts are, but we're growing, especially on the west side, well, on the east side as well. Anyway, that was a tremendous thing. My concerns, mainly from the teachers that I talked to, I still have old friends back at Lodi High and Tokay, is class size is out of control. It really is out of control. And yeah, I'm sure they could skew the numbers for us here at the USC, but I'm talking to teachers that are in science classes that are at 35 right now. Some even higher. Some of the language classes at Lodi are up to 40, I believe, in French, and that's not acceptable. So we need to do something there. We need to take a look at that. Our AP program's taking a little bit of a hit as well. And I think we need to make sure that we keep those classes going for their rigor. And that's about it. It was a really great 3 weeks of being involved heavily with Lodi Unified and talking to teachers, talking to the students too, getting a feel for what's going on in the trenches. Because we really don't get that up here. And that class size is one issue that I'll be looking into pretty heavily. And then the young man that came up and talked about his printers, I don't understand what went on there. Maybe we can get an email about that, Mr. Young?
Yes, I'll have staff look at that.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Mrs. McFarland.
Thanks. You stole all of our
I
thunder
know.
on graduation.
He never gets to go first again.
Thank you. Graduations were amazing. To the principals and the staffs that put those on, I only can imagine how much work they are. Each year when we go to them, we kind of, it puts a little pep in our step. We get to see the excited students and the proud teachers and the amazing families that come. Thoroughly enjoyable, from the smallest of graduation to the largest. That was wonderful. This last week, I also went to the Gantner groundbreaking. Can't wait to see what happens. Not many school districts are opening a school, let alone not laying off students, so kudos to Mr. Young and his team. It's impressive that we don't have those things going on in our districts that we don't miss. I just came back from a CSBA delegates meeting, and there wasn't, again, I sound like a broken record, there wasn't a school that didn't come up and speak that didn't, they led with, we're laying off 126, we're laying off, 50, we're laying off. And you sit there very quietly, because we are a very fortunate district. It's not without problems, we have our own problems, but we're not laying people off, so kudos. I also went last week to an enrichment camp that Gate did at Podesta Ranch, and they built their own instruments and they put on a concert for the parents. I will tell you, it was a packed house. It was impressive. They had the challenge of building an instrument. They could bring one man-made instrument, either a keyboard or a guitar or something. It brought me back to Science Olympiad days. I was thrilled. They had a variety of ages. They had 1 week to write their own music, play it, and play the instruments and perform and sing. And the teachers, they led with theirs, and their song had to do with not putting your name on your paper. And it was quite witty and quite, it was impressive. But anyway, kudos to our Gate office for doing something enriching for Gate, because we do all of our students, and I like when we hit a subgroup, which is, Gate is a subgroup, so I'm appreciative that we have that offering for our students, and they were, it was fun to see the different ages work together, so thank you to them.
Thanks. Mr. Stroh?
Well, Courtney did get all the thunder with the.
Yeah, I did.
But anyway, I did do, not quite as many, but I did 5 graduations, and it was really fun seeing, I went to 4 of them were the smaller graduations, and it was really nice. One of them was only 17 kids, so.
I want to go to that one.
And it was very comprehensive.
We did like 10.
It was really level. It was really nice, and it was a busy week. I also, one morning before the graduations, I went early and went over to food services, and I did this last year, helped pack the grab-and-go summer meals and be part of the little assembly line with their top staff there, and they make you feel a little part of a team, and you feel like you're like physically getting something done, and everybody's cheering it on, and music, so that was kind of fun. And also I was delivering chess sets to a school for some teacher that needed some, and so it was a busy week, and it was a lot of fun. And then today, it worked out. I was able to go visit M&O and had another good tour of it. And I got a really nice gift from Joe Patty, and it was a chunk of the old Joe Cerna. And that, I think my grandma started going to church there in the 1940s. I'm not sure if they had switched. And then my sister had to go with her, but I somehow avoided it. And went to my grandmother's funeral down in the basement, and then a few years later, my kids are, doing book fair in the basement there in cafeteria. They went K through 8 at Joe Cerna, and so it's still sitting in my car. I just picked it up today and delivering it to my sister tomorrow. So
Are you going to have it on a pedestal or what?
maybe,
Okay.
maybe go put it on your porch. A nice pink brick. It was, from 1912. So anyway, it's great to see the accumulation of a student's education after all these years. So, anyway, and no book report.
I was going to say, you didn't finish a book report? What did you
I just wanted to say that I have been to every single high school graduation since 2008.
Yes.
That's amazing.
That's a lot of wet hands that you shook.
And they still
Yeah,
seem
look how healthy you
good. Ms. Slenderman?
I thought the graduations were awesome. I did not knock any diplomas over, so that was a huge win. All right, someone else did. We're not going to talk about it. But it was fantastic. Even going to the middle schools and watching all of them excited for that next transition in their life was really exciting to see. And it just reminds us how much more work there is, and I hope everyone gets a really nice, restful summer where you can. I know for the departments here and our M&O, they will be working very, very hard because there will be less students, and hopefully make some awesome repairs to some schools that need it. But come back and energized for when the kids come back, and we can hit the ground running with hopefully more results on the table, but better processes, more optimized, a little bit more data, maybe a dashboard or two. Can only ask for so much. That's it.
Awesome. I just wanted to say, I did some data, Mr. Porter, and in the last 2 weeks, board members hit 67, I should not say hit, huh? We participated in 67 graduations, receptions, or events. So I want to thank the board for being pretty visible and pretty active out there. We don't get thanked very much. In fact, we get blamed a lot, but thank you. So I want to thank you for that. I want to thank the administrators that stayed and that were here. We oftentimes, the unsung heroes of not saying too much thank you, so kudos, thank you for our ASL. Wonderful gal that came and spoke, and hopefully we can not hear about that anymore because that breaks my heart. Anybody thinking that we are sending out subs that aren't to hearing impaired children that don't know how to sign, that baffles me. Lisa, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
And participation for all of that.
Good luck.
Good luck doing, you'll find out you probably have a whole lot more time to do things that you want to be doing.
I'm not retiring yet.
I know that, but you will find you have a whole, even being back, we know that. So thank you for your time as well.
I've already been.
I know, we'll miss that a little bit. And I just wanted to say that, Mr. Young.
I knew you were gonna do this.
No, I just wanted to come over and, officially give you your uniform for tomorrow. We expect you to be wearing.
Great.
So
Yes,
if you're
thank you.
wondering why, and then there's a sash in there that you can put around too. So if you're
Prom
wondering.
king or what?
Just because, right?
Burger King.
Just
Is it
because.
Fry's Hereford or what to do with it?
Mr. Porter, you can give me my birthday gift tomorrow on my actual birthday, okay?
I didn't say it was your birthday to
Yeah.
usually do that.
Is
I hope you have
really,
a
this wasn't
happy.
enough, huh?
Is your birthday tomorrow?
I hope you have a happy birthday.
June 10th, 1969, I was born.
No, I
Yes.
thought you were 70. What are you talking about?
Nope, 1969.
Anyway, with that being said, thank you. Have a happy birthday.
Oh, you
And
will.
meeting
I'm
is
definitely
adjourned at 9:01. I'm so sorry, Mr. Nava.
Great.
I just gotta tighten it up.
1 minute, gotta tighten it up.